get that library? Everyone done that? Right, good. Right. Fine. Then how to use this step by step? How do we work with this? So we will see now. We will go into that technically. How do we work with it? So in Bootstrap, so we are going to learn how to use these ready-made designs, layouts, and create good user interfaces, right? Let's see. For that, yesterday I given you an overview about the basic containers. So how to use the containers, what are the containers available, we learned about that. Now, next, after understanding that, so how we can get that Bootstrap containers. Next, we need to know about how to use the other options, like we have Bootstrap. So Bootstrap grids, actually, grid classes, Bootstrap grid classes. Actually, grid classes are used to design rows and columns, configuring rows and columns. Earlier, for rows, row is one class, col is one class, and you can define first row classes. I will show you what are row classes available. So row is used for rows, and you have a row, columns, and number. How many number of columns you want in the row? You can define a number. So this is for normal. You can define row, columns, SM and number. That means you can define a number. Number means 2, 3, 4. That means how many columns you want. You can define it. How many columns you want, you can define. So for small screens, for medium screens, we can use row, cols, MD. MD is for medium screens. You can define number. So row is used for rows, and col is used for columns, actually. That means we have class col. Col is for columns. Here also you have col SM for small screens, call MD for medium screens, call LG for large screens, and call XL for so desktop like extra screens. And very important is, actually, call classes can have options like call number. You can define a number. You can define a number. This number actually indicates, so how many fractions you want. As we already know that, so columns can be 1 to 12. 12 fractions, 12 columns. So how many columns everyone have to occupy, that we can define here. So arranging the contents in rows and columns requires this row class and this call class. And we can use column numbers, how many we want. I will show you. Let's see. So first, let's say columns. Okay, HTML. So first step here, we need to import in the head section. We need to link Bootstrap. Link relation is style sheet, and link href is equal to node modules in the node modules, bootstrap dist css bootstrap.css. Okay, then the body, and here I said class as container fluid. Okay, and in this we are designing, we want to design some rows and columns. So we need to create the rows and columns. So how do we define the rows and columns? How we can configure? So rows and columns. Let's see. Just what we can do is we can configure a simple example. I will show you how we can adjust these columns. Suppose I am showing you a data list. Let's create a data list. Suppose heading product details. So where we use these rows and columns, you can understand. We have a data list with the data term as name. Okay. Another data definition. Data definition, some Samsung TV. Okay, fine. Another data term. We have price and data definition. So data definition, and we are configuring some price. So we are configuring the price. So, and some ampersand ash 8377 semicolon, and I am writing some price. So some price. Okay. And another data term, I defined another data term. So stock, and data definition, some available. So that's generally I defined here. Now, important, if generally we see data terms and definition, that means shipped to, like this. Okay. And data definition is Delhi. Okay. Now you can observe that this is going to add the information and keep the information in this way. It will display like this. Terms and definitions are defined in this way. So we have the data terms and data definitions. By default, you see terms have this. Now, very important is when you are applying Bootstrap, the Bootstrap classes, you can customize the Bootstrap classes. You can add some more functionality to them. Suppose already container fluid is there. So this is a predefined sub that you applied for body. So you want, then what you can do, you can write a style. You can use that class again, container fluid, and you can add some extra effects like background color, some light green, something like this, and it will apply to that. It will apply to that. That means you can customize these classes according to your create. So create, right? So this is how we can configure. So we can configure. So here we can change them. Customizations also we will do in later stage. Initially not required. Okay, we don't need this style now. So we don't need to write any styles because Bootstrap is already having some. What I will do now is I will keep this data list. This is the data list. So data list with a class called row. We are using the class row for the data list. That means arrange all these in rows. Okay. In rows, I want data term in one column and data definition in another column. Data term should be occupying 2 columns and rest of 10 columns, because column is 12. Data definition will be rest of other columns. Then here I am adding class as call2 and data definition class is call 10. So the same for every term, we will use the class 2. That means every term will be in the first column. It will occupy 2 columns. Okay. Every definition is 10. That means every data definition is 10. So every data definition is 10. Then you can see that this will arrange the information side by side, terms and definitions. Earlier, we have to use flex boxes, divide them into columns, arrange them side by side, and display them side by side. Now we can easily manage this. We can easily manage this. And these are flexible. That means when they go onto different devices, they fit onto those devices. So that is the advantage. That is the advantage of Bootstrap. That is the advantage of Bootstrap. So you can configure anything. So into columns, configure anything into columns. You can arrange into columns. So we can create like layouts. We can design like layouts. So we can add layouts with rows and columns. We can customize some according to our requirements. For example, see, if I want to create like a layout arranged in columns, then it is easy for us now. How it is easy to arrange in columns? You see now what I am doing is, let's create one column layout. Column layout.html. Yeah. So here I am just designing. So same HTML head, and here we are defining title, some layout. Okay, and here we have link relation is equal to style sheet, and href is equal to node modules css bootstrap.css. Okay, let's design the body and see here configuring the body, and let's put the class as container fluid. Okay, that is the option. Okay, fine. Okay, let's continue. So here we are designing some headers, some footers, and handle them here. Let's see. So let's create one simple layout with the headers and options. Like just I'm adding a div. Okay, and here, so I want some header to define. So then we can just keep in this div, I will put the class as row. Okay, that is the row. Now inside this, we want information to arrange in columns. So we can arrange the information into columns. Now I am just using one div. So this is using the class call sum3. That is the 3 columns. And another div. So this is using the class column, and the column is suppose 8. So and another div. So that is using the class as call sum2. That is how we are configuring and defining, right? Okay. So here in this, that means now our row is having three columns. So this is the left, this is the center, and this is the right column. So now suppose I am defining here some effect, right? In the left column, we have an unordered list, and we have a list item like some electronics, something, and we have list item like footwear, so like fashion, okay. And this is left side, and in the center, so some home and like content like this home page something. You can put an iframe and put the some content. Layouts we will design later. Means once we know these, we will create some real world examples. First, we understand this process, then we can do. And here we are adding. Suppose this is for some ads. So this is ads here like this. So you can see that now when I run this, you can see it comprises of these columns. And how do we arrange the columns? So you see here, so this is 8, and let's keep this to 2, okay, 2 columns, okay. Now you can see it will be arranged in this way. The left column, right, yes. So we are arranging in this way. So this is left, this is the center, and the right. Now, suppose at the top, so we have a div, and here we have some heading as some Amazon shopping, and suppose we want to align class text center. So it will keep center. Text classes, I will tell you later. Then it will keep the text center and this. I don't have much content here. We can put any content we want. This is arranging the information into columns. If you want, you can customize. For example, so wherever the classes we are using, that means I can add a style, and I can simply say that here we have call. So that is call. So we have 2 columns, 8 columns. Suppose we have options like 2 columns. So for 2 columns, I want to apply some border. That means I said some border right, border right. So border right, I want to apply some border. Suppose border right as solid, and some 2 pixels like this, and some black. So, and it has to keep the border right side. It has to keep the border right side. Depending on the content, it will arrange your information and keep your information. You can keep some paragraphs of information. So here, and it's easy for arranging the contents into rows and columns. You can customize anything according to your requirement. Suppose for column 8, I am giving border left, and it will apply only for this column 8 left. Right side will not be there. And if you have some paragraphs of information kept there, so paragraphs of information there, then the border height will be adjusted. That is the general thing. I just kept some normal content. So we will add some paragraphs information here, and it is going to get that and display, arranging the information. Now at the bottom, again, after we finish this row, and I can add another row. So we can we can add another row here. So we are adding another row, so class row, and in this row, suppose we are adding a div, and here we say some ampersand copy and copyright, so and 2020, okay, and this will add that row. Of course, you can keep the alignment to center. We have to use text center. So that keeps the alignment to center, not for the row. We have to keep for this class, yeah, text center, and it will apply the text center. And text center, how many columns also important here. That means we need to define in how many columns this content need to merge. That means how many columns it has to occupy. We need to define that. So generally here, if you want multiple columns, that means how many columns, because we haven't mentioned any column there, we have to keep this in a div, and in the div, so we have another div. This div will arrange the content into col. So it arrange into col. I'm not giving any number here. By default, col actually sets the columns to fit the width. This is fitting the width till the end. It is fitting the width till the end. It is used to fit the width. If you want only 2 columns, 3 columns, you can define a number, and or otherwise you can configure this and you can fit it. So of course, now you can apply different effects for them. Colors and all I will do. Actually, suppose I say some BG, so primary, then it will apply that the background primary. So we can configure, so text white. So it will give the text color white. So arranging the information and configuring the information in rows and columns will be an easy one now. We can manage so everything just by using these classes. So we have to just use the combination of row and column, We can define the content in any way we want. You can put any content. So you can create links, navigation, everything will work. Only the point is it is a responsive design. It is a responsive design. So here we don't, one more options we will see here, how we can fit onto other devices. Some classes are there, we will apply them. How we can configure them, we will see that. So grid wise, defining the columns and adjusting the columns. So column numbering is nothing but total number of columns. Already we learned in CSS how many number of columns can be there. In CSS, I already told you when we learned about grid template, how many columns you can give per page. How many columns you can give per page? 12 columns we can give per page, right? Page can have 12 columns. Already we learned that, right? And if you can have 12 columns, first column, how many fractions? What are 12? 12 means 12 fractions, right? In that, how many fractions left column, how many fractions right column, how many fractions in the center column, that we are defining. That is what column numbering is. Understood? That is already learned in CSS. Here we are just using a number. Okay. If you are there in CSS, we discussed already that column numbers are defined in 12 fractions. In the 12 fractions, we have to divide them. That's what we divided here. So 2 columns left, 8 columns center, and the rest of 2 columns right side. So out of 12, we are dividing them. That is what actually columns. Right. Next, important after understanding these rows and columns, these all examples I will give you. I will upload into the class. So after knowing how to arrange the content in rows and columns, now we need to know about so bootstrap colors, also a simple things to handle. Colors are simple. Actually, Bootstrap provides predefined classes for colors. Generally, we call them as contextual colors. Contextual colors. That means according to the context, colors will be there. Like invalid, danger. Danger is for invalid. that means it will give a red color. Success, green color, right? So yellow, warning color. According to the context, color names will be there. Then what you can do is actually context color names will be, we have primary color, we have secondary color. So we have a dark color, we have light color. So we have success color, we have warning color, we have danger color. So we have info color, like this ready-made colors, contextual colors will be there. Only the point is, if you want to apply for text, you have to use text hyphen this contextual name. Contextual name. If you want to apply for background, you have to just use BG and contextual name. Contextual name. If you want to apply for border, then you have to use border and contextual name. Contextual name. Contextual name. That is how we have to apply the colors. That means you can simply configure the colors. So by using, define the colors and configure the colors by using this mechanism, right? So simply you can add, so BG, you can add BG for background, text for text color, and border for border colors. That means you see now, suppose here, first I will show you how the colors will be there. Colors. So if you want to apply colors for text, so again, I'm creating everything. So link, style sheet, okay, and href, load modules, bootstrap this, bootstrap.css, okay. And in the body section, so here we have a container fluid, container fluid class, yeah, container fluid. And in this, I see text colors. Text colors, just what we have to do. Suppose we have some option like primary. So we have option like primary. So we have like secondary. So we have like secondary. So we have option like, so primary, secondary, and we have option like, so we have option like success, all these we can use. Just what we need to do is, here we need to apply here. So class as text primary, it will get the primary color. We'll say class text secondary. We have secondary color. We have like class, so text danger. So we have class like text success. And you can see that these colors are applied and defined there. This is for text. If you want to apply for text, you can see those are contextual colors, primary, secondary, and the success. Those are contextual colors, text color. The same if you want to apply for background. So that means I said background color. So BG color. So just change this to BG. So this is BG, and these are background colors. So this is BG. Okay. That means we can use BG as prefix for background. They will apply as background colors. Background colors. And for all of them, you can add multiple classes with space, right? So we have text color. So we have text color. So that means text, I said some white. Text white will put the white color for text. White color for text. And we have defined that white color here. And this is the white color for text. So this is the background colors, the foreground colors, anywhere you can apply. You can apply to a div or a span or a paragraph or a box. Anywhere you can apply these background colors, right? So you have just these classes to understand. You can apply border also. Suppose we want, so border. So first, in order to define border, suppose this is border color. And to apply border, we have to just use the class border. First, if I use border, then actually the paragraph contains a border. So very small, you can see border is there. Its thickness and all we need to adjust with the sizes later. So you see there is a border. And if I want to apply a color for that, then we have to write here as again border success, then a border danger, and the border colors will come. So border success, right? So border, so we are applying here border, right? So border dark, border light, so border danger, and you can see the border will be applied there. For you can apply for border, you can apply for background, you can apply for text. These are contextual colors. Contextual colors, you can apply that just by using the BG. So background, right? You can configure BG for background and text for text and border for border. You can apply these contextual colors. Next important is so Bootstrap colors, Bootstrap columns, Bootstrap containers, and for images, Bootstrap images, you have two classes. We have an image img thumbnail. You have a thumbnail class. You have an img thumbnail, and you also have an img fluid. Fluid will adjust the image according to the height and width. It will adjust. Generally for that we have to give the percentages, means height width we will give percentages, but according to browser if it has to fit, then we can give that image size so as a fluid. So if you give percentage, automatically it will be fluid only. It will be fluid only. So we have thumbnail, that is special style for pictures. It's not mandatory. If you want, you can use them. That means suppose I have an image source, and in the images we have some shoe.jpg, and already image have a width 100 and height 100. So width and height is 100. And you see we have an image here. And for this image, I am applying a class. We can use only img thumbnail or img fluid. Only two options are there. We can use img thumbnail. Thumbnail will put an image like this. You see there is a rounded border, and it is having some emboss effect for the image. That is only the point. So you can suppose I am defining here. So as border suppose primary or border secondary or border success. I am defining border success. You can put a color for that. It depends combinations. You have to use a combination for that. This is a thumbnail like. So you can use img fluid, image fluid. Actually fluid images will fit according to the browser. And you see here, after reaching some maximum size, 500 pixels is the zoom level, it will not adjust anymore. It will stop there. That means it has max size and min size, minimum size and maximum size. It will adjust into that. It will not go further than that. So otherwise what happens, it will go on zooming. So if you are increasing, it will go on zooming and displaying. So this will correctly fit into the screens, different screens. These are only the classes we have. For pictures, you can use img thumbnail, img fluid. We can use these options, thumbnail and fluid. So for Bootstrap, we can configure and use them, right? So next, so these are all simple things. Just you need to know them and implement them. So once we know them, first later we will use all of these and design one screen with all these options what we learned, right? Okay, next, Bootstrap have special classes. Bootstrap have special classes for tables, for backgrounds, for borders, for text, for columns, and for images, and for tables. For tables, ready-made classes are there. So if you have tables, you can give a good appearance for the tables simply with these classes. So without writing much effects manually. For that, we have a table class. Table is the base class for tables. After that, we have table with contextual color. Contextual colors means red, green, blue, like contextual colors. You have table like table stripped. These designs stripped. We have table stripped. So we have table stripped. So we have table bordered. We have table borderless. These are all different styles. We have table hover. So we have table sizes like table SM, small, table MD, medium, LG, large, XL for extra large size. And we have table responsive. Table responsive will change the width of columns and make the columns scroll. If there are many columns, it will make it scroll. These are all ready-made table classes which you can apply for tables. For example, already suppose we worked with tables, we designed so many tables when we learned HTML and all. And you see, suppose this is, I think this is a table with what are there here? Yeah, we have some tables here. These are all layouts for the tables. And here we manually applied for table cells, table data, colors, effects. You see, lot of CSS we have to write to arrange the content into table and define them. We designed all these examples for creating the tables, configuring the tables. Lot of effects, colors individually, all these you need to apply. So if you are presenting the tables and you are presenting some data into the tables, you see now, so we can simply handle this. Okay, I will copy this part up to head is common. Okay, so let's see how we can use the table options. So HTML, okay, and in the body, so class as container, okay, and the heading as products list. And here we designed a table. I'm not using any other attributes. We have thead and tr and th. And here we are defining some name and some price. So th, so price, yeah, stock, something like this. And we have t body and we have the row in that cell. So some TV, okay. And we have the price, so price. And here we have, so this is one row and stock and available. Okay, like this we have some rows. Okay, few rows. I will keep here some mobile. Okay, just roughly some content. Okay, now we have this table. Generally we know that you need to keep a lot of attributes for table, like borders, like shading, like columns, rows, frames. We learned about them. Now see, for this table, to give a simple appearance, I will use ready-made classes. Just I have to use a class table. This table is the base class which will apply some width responsive fit to the window. Without writing any width, automatically it fits. Okay, I will use classes like table hover. You see, when mouse is over any row, it will change those colors for the table. So you want to change some more colors, you can use table primary, and it will get the primary colors. So you can use the table some warning. So warning, it will give you this color table. Ready-made. You can apply for every row, every column. You have BG color, I told you already, you can apply that. So every row you can configure, right? Now you have suppose a table hover, and we have option like table. So table classes, we have borderless table. We don't want any border for table. You see borderless table. Suppose you want bordered bordered table will come and it is having borders for the table. So can have tables can have stripped table. Stripped is an effect only, just stripped table. That means it will give you the table only rows, no columns. That means column lines are not there, only rules will be in the rows. This is a stripped table. And one of the great advantage is this responsive table. Table sizes can be there. So that means suppose I said here table, so table SM. So that means small table size will be adjusted for the table. So and I want LG for large table. So that means table will be adjusted with the large size. You can adjust the table options. You can use table responsive also. Responsive that requires lot of columns actually. Suppose temporarily, just I am copying so many columns for you to understand. So I am copying so many columns here. Let's copy. Okay. And similarly, so many columns must be there here. Okay. Here also columns. Just I'm adding here. Yeah. And here also some columns. That means we will maintain a lot of columns. Okay. You can see a lot of columns are there. I have to scroll the page left, right. So I have to scroll the page left, right. Page should not scroll. Only table should scroll. Only the table should scroll. Page should not scroll. Then we can keep this table simply as with the class called table responsive. Table responsive. And if I give the table responsive, and you can see that table will be responsive. That means you can see that. So now table have a scroll bar. Only table have a scroll bar. We can keep a responsive table. Now the regular question comes is how we can keep paginations are like hundreds, thousands of records. That is done with the jQuery. So Bootstrap alone don't have that option. We have to use combination of jQuery also for achieving like paginations and all. Here, these are all styles, ready-made styles and effects we have, and we are applying them. So tables can be applied with these classes. So table contextual, table stripped, table border, borderless, all these are for the tables. If you are presenting tables, you have ready-made options. Of course, individually for every row, if I want, I can just write here as class as BG, so danger. I am applying that BG danger for that. Then individually, you can apply for every row, backgrounds and all. We can apply the colors for all or specific row. You can define according to your requirement. Sorry, it is not BTN, BG, right? So BG danger, right? BG danger will put this, and we have to keep text color white for displaying the text color white, right? So technically, so the point here is how we can manage, and so how we can define, right? So the point is when you are dealing with, the options, so you can apply anywhere, but you have to know that correctly whether it is suitable for that particular element or not. Suppose if you have written some width to table row, you know that table row width cannot be adjusted, right? So such things, if you mismatch in applying, then you will feel like it is not working for you, but actually you have applied in a wrong location for that action. That is what only the problem, right? So these are options, and as I already told you, you can customize them according to your requirements if you want. So you can add more options and effects by writing those classes here. Next option in the Bootstrap here Bootstrap margin and padding in Bootstrap is also simple. Bootstrap is simple. Padding and margins are simple. That means if I want to keep margin padding for the contents, then earlier what we have done is we have written a lot of styles, right? So margin, let's see how you can define the margins and paddings here, right? How do we configure the margin and padding? Let's see. So I am using just here a doc type HTML and here head and in the body. So and class container fluid. Yes. And here, so you see, generally, suppose I will keep a div and in this we have some paragraph of information. Let's copy and paste. Let's copy and paste some paragraph of information here. Okay, let's define the paragraph information here. Fine. Now you can see here. So it will display in a normal way. Obviously, it will be in this way. Okay. And for this div, suppose I kept a class called border and border danger, something like this, dark or danger. So the border I defined for this, and you have a border for the div. And you can see the content is like this. Now I want to define the margins and padding. It's very simple. For margin, you have to use M for margin. For padding, you have to use P. Dot M for margin, dot P for padding. This is class names. That is padding. They are written as with a dot. Classes means they are written with dot. And if you want top margin, T for top, and B for bottom, B for bottom. So L for left, R for right, and X for left and right both you want, then X. So and Y for top and bottom. For top and bottom both you want, then you keep Y. That means this is top, this is bottom, and this is left, and this is right. For those we use options. Suppose I want right padding, then simple P R. That means right padding. I want PR. PR, how many points you want? You can define the points. Actually, so padding can be defined. Padding and margin can be defined. So from 1 to 6 levels. 6 levels of padding, not more than that. If you want more than that, then you have to apply. You have to apply manually. So only 1 to 6 levels of padding is available. 6 levels of padding available. That means what you have to do is you have to write like this: PR5. That means padding right 5. So MR5, margin right 5. You have to write like this. So that means, so we have to apply the classes for this here. And I am using, so MR, and I defined as some 4 or 5. I defined 5. And you can see that. So the margin right side 5 will be there, right side. Suppose I said MX, that means it will be margin left and right. And I given MT, margin top as 2. That means top margin will be adjusted. Margin top as 4. And you see some more space adjusted. I want to use padding, that means P. Suppose I say P, that means it will set padding all directions. Padding will be adjusted again. So P5, that means padding will be adjusted all. Suppose only, so PR5, that means padding right side only will be 5. So we are having PR5 and PL, so PL3 and padding left side 3. You can adjust that. Top and bottom paddings are not there. So it depends on how you want to apply the padding. and you can apply maximum the 5 fractions of padding available. So 6 fractions of padding you can configure here. Now remember, don't depend on these help. Don't depend on this help every time. That is not a professional help. Just you are making use of some facilities which are designed by some people, third party people. They will not provide all options here. Sometimes if you don't find from the list, you may come with a complaint, sir, it is not there in my computer. CSS have that class, but it is not showing in the list, means that is the problem with this uh, help provider, this intelligence provider. So because it is not officially provided by CSS people, so it is designed by somebody. He may miss one or two options, or some new features may come in CSS which may not be available here in the list. That will happen. That will happen because they are not official helper. We are taking just an advantage of this. Don't depend on them, and don't try to use only on these options, because many people come with a complaint, like not only coming with a complaint, they also think like, I no need to remember, already list is there, now I can use from the list, right? That cannot happen every time, so you will face problems in that. So always use this mechanism. These are margins and padding, how you are applying the padding and how you are applying the margin. So that is the option for margins and paddings, how we can configure, right? So now we have applied so many options. That means margins, padding, backgrounds, so foregrounds, shading, how to apply and use them. Now these are the ready-made options available. Now, once you know these options, now comes a very important is the Bootstrap components. That means we have to know about Bootstrap components. Components means how you can put alerts, how you can put dialog boxes, how you can create a navigation bar, how you can create carousels means sliding images and all. So how do we create forms? How do we design the forms, options? We will see all these components. That means what are the elements, what are the options and configurations for them? How do we deal with them? These are called as Bootstrap components. So once you know these Bootstrap components, so then you can have more effective design can be done, right? I will show you. So actually, so point here is Bootstrap components needs some interactions also they will have. And to use those interactions, Bootstrap component related interactions, you need jQuery. So Bootstrap interactions requires jQuery actually, jQuery. For example, see, in the Bootstrap, we have components like, see, I'm designing a div and I will say, so a heading. So delete record and I will put a paragraph. So are you sure? Sure. So that means I'll say simply like a record will be deleted. This message I want to give. So record will be deleted. This paragraph and options are defined. Now, generally, when we run this, it looks normal. Now see here, in this, for the div, I am using a class called alert. And you can see that alert class. So this is the alert. And once you keep alert, so alert, so have different options like alert danger. When I use alert and alert danger, and you see it will be like this now. That means it is like alert. So just we will use lot of components. I will show you step by step. You see, this is an alert box. Now, actually, here we can have a button, and a button I will put cross mark for button. And usually you see this is having this cross mark there. And for left side, you see cross mark. Generally, we have a class called close. It is used for close buttons. So close, and you can see that it will go right side here. You can see it will be right side, automatically adjusted into that alert, right side. And when I click on this close button, it should close. It should close that alert. This box should close. So that also we can do without writing much logic. But for that, we need interactions. Interactions are managed by jQuery. jQuery. That means Bootstrap components are having both design and functionality. Not every component. So few components have functionality also. Now, when you are designing components for functionality also, with functionality also, then we have to use jQuery. With jQuery, we can manage the functionalities. Now we have to install jQuery, and we have to add jQuery plugin, and we have to use Bootstrap jQuery combination to design such components. Alerts, dialog boxes, navigation bars, and carousels, sliding images, and all these things comes under components. How to design these components with the jQuery combination? jQuery combination means don't worry, you don't need to write any logic. You have to just use some attributes. Through that attributes, you can apply. Later, when you learn jQuery, you can implement that jQuery also into this and make it more better, right? So, but initially, without writing logic, you can manage that. But for that, we need jQuery combination. So, how to use these components with the jQuery combination, we will see. That we will see in next session, right? Tomorrow, we will continue with this. So tomorrow we will see all the components of Bootstrap one by one, all the components, right?